What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I see you guys are piling into the room. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Bill, Carlos, Cindy, Corey, Donna, Jay. We got Kevin. Good morning. Lucian, Matthew, Micus, Peter, Tim. Win is in the house. Santilla, good morning. She coming in with fireworks already. Going. Good morning. AMD's explosive move coming. Yeah, I was looking at that one pre-market too. David, good morning to you as well. Yeah, so we hit all-time highs as of yesterday. Peter says, has anyone seen AMD pre-market? Because the good news through Microsoft, AMD looks good. AMD does look pretty good. There's a little bit of resistance. We'll get to that in a second, though. But it's looking pretty good. We got SPY. We just hit all-time highs yesterday. So second day in a row of all-time highs. We got finally a little bit of a retrace pullback makes sense. Where we're opening today, though, it is a bullish gap and go, still inside yesterday's candle. We do have a bunch of options expiring today, so that could cause a little bit of chop, I would assume. But interesting spot, at least where we're sitting now. Again, 27 minutes till open. We'll see if we get any news, any real bounce, and actually where we open on this market. But as of this second, slightly below Wednesday's VPOC. So it's a little bit of resistance that we're facing at open. If we could get above 529.19, I think that would set us up for at least a push into 529.84. Do we break that today? I don't know. That's gonna be a tough resistance for this week, I think. The question is, how bullish does everybody want? Keep in mind, this is a big candle, and we just hit all-time highs in the market. You do have a lot of options expiring. You got a lot of people profitable in the bullish direction of things. We are sitting just at all-time highs. How bullish do we want to be today? Before the weekend, or even if somebody wants to get into the market, I don't know. For me, it's like I don't want to buy it at all-time highs. Doesn't mean I want to sell either. So maybe a little bit of a chop. And then if I really want to get into something, looking for maybe next week to get in. So we'll have to see how today plays out. But we do have two spots of resistance again, maybe one, depends on where we open. To the downside, there's not really a lot of volume because we're in no man's land. I would have to watch for the low of yesterday. So if we do start pulling back, start dipping below 528.72, that would probably be my first little support. And then we have to look at the bottom of this 525.77. I don't know that we break down this candle today either. So I'm not overall not really bearish whatsoever. But could we get some resting period? We're pretty far away from all moving averages as well. I mean, the 20 EMA, we're sitting at 516.45. So can we do one of these things? We just chop around a little bit. Let's see that the last one where we kind of broke out. Yep. So we had a few almost weeks of just chopping. I don't know that we're that extended as maybe we were back then. So I don't know how long this chop lasts, but at least for today, I think just some kind of in this range, and we could even almost box it out from the highs to the lows. But looking for like 531.55 into the range of 525.39. So again, we're a lot closer to that high than we are to the low. And it does put a little bit more risk reward just to the downside, but you're fighting a good fight if you want to go that route. You got the Qs. Joe says fade. Yeah. You're fighting a huge bullish momentum. So that's the challenge with the fading of going short. But you do have better risk reward doing it, believe it or not. But I ultimately I think we probably hang out in this range and then we punt off to next week. We'll see. But we got the Qs. Same thing. So this is a gap and go on Qs. I believe NVIDIA earnings next week. That could give us also a little chop on Monday, Tuesday, because I think the earnings are Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And the entire market is going to be watching very, very closely watching the NVIDIA earnings. So we'll see. Qs, gap and go right to the opening price of yesterday. We got two levels of VPOC, so a little bit of support resistance in here. We got 452.82, followed by yesterday's resistance, which was actually higher than the day before, so still kind of impressive. We got 452.82, so a little bit of resistance right above us. Again, do I want to go bearish? Not really. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, you do have this blow off top. You got some reason to think that could maybe give us some even chop, maybe pull back, retest this a little bit further. Otherwise, if we start getting above 452.85, watch out. We could get that bullish follow through as well. So we'll have to see how this and again the run up into earnings has been a good repeatable trade. And if Nvidia is the next big one and pretty much the last big one, I think, of the earnings season that could really affect the markets, you might get some more bullish sentiment into the Nvidia, which will push up Qs, push up SPY. TLT, so that one's gapping down a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but you got a little bit of support where we're opening 91.64. This is also a retest from yesterday, and then we're also in the very bottom of that last bullish candle. So this one probably would fade higher, I would assume. Otherwise, if we start breaking 91.62, we still got a little support 91.44, and then we're probably looking for that gap fill on TLT back to 90.82. Then you guys will talk about AMD. Yep, let's look at that one. AMD, we did have a nice trade. We just sold too early on it, but that's always the case. Really, really good gap. Again, you still are facing some resistance. So the highest resistance, highest target for today, I'd start getting a little concerned to see what happens at least at 170.55. Otherwise, the first little resistance that comes in probably getting to push around 169.23. This is an interesting candle. Let's go with that. It's an interesting candle. Again, we still have 21 minutes till the market opens. Right now, we are higher than where all the bears came in or people took profits yesterday. So we are potentially squeezing some bears at open. That could give us that lift maybe to that 170.55 zone. Again, it just my biggest thing is today's Friday. You got a lot of options expiring. You got the 2-day weekend, and like how crazy. The other interesting thing though is we are in low liquidity markets. Like there's not a lot of volume, so you can get some extensive moves, not that difficultly, right? So like that, and that's why we'll see like 20 candles in a row go 10 cents, and then we get one big candle that goes $5. You're like, what just happened? It's low liquidity. So once it starts to break, there's not a lot to stop it. But this is a retest gap. Technically speaking, this is also our third bull day in a row. I think there is definitely some people. I'm one of them. I'm trying to see if we can get a pullback somewhere, and then maybe take out a little bit of a swing on AMD, maybe some call options, something like that. But we have to see where this one opens. I would like to see some kind of a pullback, but I do think the dips get bought on AMD. So if we could get a dip in there, I'm with it. I'm down. Cracker Barrel, yep. CBRL, they got a kind of a downgrade, but also maintained. So I think Bank of America came in on Cracker Barrel. Yep. Still at underperform, and they still have their price target. So they cut the price target down to 50, which is essentially where we're at now. The daily chart on this one doesn't look great. Does not look great. They slashed the dividend too. Where's their what divvy did they put? So I've got mixed feelings about the divvy cut. Let's see. Where's their dividend cut? Because they were sitting at about 10% as of yesterday. Probably a little bit better. Wendy's in the house. What's up, Wendy? I'm trying to see more news, but it won't click on it. So yeah, I don't know what the divvy cut got down to. Otherwise, yeah, this chart's not great. If you're in this thing because it had the 10% dividend and it did get cut, people are going to people that are in it for the dividends are not going to be happy. For a company basis, though, that maintains a lot of their free cash flow, and they could then reinvest it into the business, grow it out a little bit, pay down some debt. So overall, for a business model, yeah, cutting the divvy might actually return more value to an investor than getting that dividend check every quarter. But yeah, if you're in for divvies, you're not loving it. But the price target did get cut to 50. You're at $50.55 right now. I actually think that this is some type of a fade. We are down pretty heavily. We still are holding into all the way back from 2020 when restaurants were closed. We're still holding on to that range right now. So we'll see where this one wants to go. I think this one's probably a little bit more of a fade higher at open and just kind of chop. I don't know that we close the gap all the way up here. That would be impressive if they do. Back to like 57.46. I think we get some kind of initial fade up to like 53.40. Maybe we run into like 53.80, something like that. But we'll see how that one plays out. Let's throw this one higher on the list. Volume on this one is very, very low. Maybe today you get a little bit more eyeballs looking at it, and volume probably will increase. But typically for day trading wise, Cracker Barrel's a little bit on the slower side. Tim says 1.7. The dividend is now 1.7. That's a big cut. That would be a huge cut. Meta, and they're what was their they were about like 138%. The divvies were like 138% free cash flow. So the dividend it's been in jeopardy. So I'm not really surprised. Oh, it went from yeah 9.08% down to 1.7. They still kept a little bit. I almost would have liked to see the whole dividend get wiped out, to be like, as looking at it as an investor standpoint. Like, why? If your company is hurting, if your free cash flow is down, why why keep that 1.7%? Honestly, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I would just wipe the whole thing out if I was CEO. So I'm actually kind of mad it didn't go lower. Meta, so Meta we tried yesterday. It just did not have the same strength as the rest of the market. It did chop around for a little bit. The entire market was going crazy, and Meta just wasn't loving life yesterday, and we ended up getting the break down as opposed to we're trying to play the break up from here. Otherwise, right now we're below all moving trends. Today's VPOC is opening lower than yesterday's, which opened lower than the day before. So still in a little bit of a, I wouldn't say bearish trend, but definitely a pullback. We are below the 20 EMA, starting to get past that. Is it the 50 as well? Where am I at with my moving averages? Oh yeah, yep. So we're getting right below the 50 at open. We have room to this one. I wouldn't mind looking for something bearish. And again, I'm kind of thinking we get that fade today. This is a bearish retest gap, so I don't know if I would fade it at open. Probably first little resistance I would look for takes me right into this VPOC. So the closer I get my short to about 472.76, the happier I would be. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of a bounce on this one. We're still kind of holding what is this, Wednesday's low on the day. So out of the gate, if you're real quick, maybe go bullish. I'll probably sit the bullish play out and rather go bearish when I can on this one. And then we'll see if the market wants to cooperate and also give us a little help from the bear side of things. What was the other one that I missed? We got Reddit, RDDT. So they're up on a partnership with OpenAI. People obviously love that. I have no idea what the revenues are. I think their quarterly earnings were actually decent. Yep, so they did beat on all fronts. My biggest concern with Reddit going long, and this is a bullish gap and go. You do have resistance somewhere around 62.83, and then you have 58.61. My biggest problem, even though this is a gap and go going bullish on Reddit, and maybe it just wakes up and flies, I'm a little concerned it's tied into the memes at this point. So we have GME is gapping down massively. They did a share offering, which for a company perspective it actually makes a lot of sense. Your stock just jumps like crazy. AMC, we saw do it, I believe, yesterday. So it's a good way for the companies to just kind of raise additional cash, which they need, especially being a struggling company. How much can the cash save the company? I don't know. for both GameStop and AMC. But yep, that's more shares out there, so everyone can kind of gets diluted a little bit as the company actually makes some of the gains. This is a retest gap. We do have $20 psychological whole number. We've finally got some moving averages in here. Maybe we could get a fade on this one. Just uh, like I've said it before. I don't know how much the technicals play in. If the technicals do want to play today, I'd look for $20 to hold. See if that range wants to hold, and then probably look for a bullish play on GameStop up to maybe 27.51. And if we want to run into that VPOC, maybe we could get to like 29.34 today, and on like a really good day. But we need a lot of help from Roaring Kitty on that one, I think. And so again, you have AMC down today as well. GameStop's down. A lot of those short floats that were kind of moving with GameStop, they are pulling back. And so that's my biggest problem with Reddit is it going to be tied into the meme stock game, which today is definitely feeling a little bit more bearish, and like the squeeze at the moment is over with. So but that is a gap and go. So if it does want to play with technicals, it's not been around long enough for me to be like, okay, this one trades like an actual stock. So we'll see. SMCI, so it ripped your face off yesterday. How so? It definitely did pull back. So again, today I would actually be a little bit more bullish than bearish on it, but how far is that range going to go? I don't know that. Like my first spot where I would be looking to take some gains, 942.82. I wouldn't be surprised if we chop around here for the next 3 days until the Nvidia earnings come out. And who knows? But we chop something like this for 2-3 days. If Nvidia reports on, I believe it's Wednesday, maybe I'm wrong on that date, but I think on Wednesday, that's going to give us the momentum to push either this way or this way, depends on how Nvidia reports. So I am looking for more range bound today on SMCI, with probably the highs being 942.30. And again, if we could break that, fantastic. Maybe we get back to the high of the day, 951.85. Anything past 951.85, and you could have a pretty big bullish breakout. To the downside, we are right at that support. So you want to see 920.52 hold. And then if it does not, we have to look at the lows of yesterday, 904.60. And then I got 893.98, and then the bigger one would be 887.08. So we'll see. But I think we're a little bit more range bound. We probably have a little bit more bullish edge on this one. It is a gap and go, still inside day, but we are holding that support. So SMCI, I'll get on the list. We have a little bit of room to the higher side if we want to get there. Maybe a good high wave candle out of the gate, take a break, bullish, something like that would be fun. Johnny's watching Oxy today. Yeah, we were watching Oxy yesterday. We were like, yeah, man, you know what? Oxy's not in a bad bounce spot. For today on a day trade, I don't know. I don't have much edge on a day trade. What I think Johnny might be watching, we got the 200 right below. So the 200, which we did get a bounce off one time. We're looking at 62.06. I wouldn't mind looking at a swing on this one. And I'm not sure what Johnny's looking at, but let's see. I'd probably go a little higher on this play. So entry somewhere around there. I think a decent looking hammer, something like this, would be my stop. And I wouldn't mind setting that as a swing, just because now we have like tweezer tops. We got some good volume zone up there. This is not a horrible pullback spot with a pretty interesting hammer off that 200. So that I do like. I think his take is a swing on Oxy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. For today, I don't have too much edge one way or the other. But if we could get it on the daily to break out a little bit higher, let's see. I don't know how accurate those numbers are, but that takes us right into, that's right in between the 50, the 618. You got rejected off that 50. So if we start breaking above that again, I think that'd be fantastic, especially with the 200 holding us up. That hammer, good bounce right off that 200. So something like that. I don't know where targets would be on this one. It's got room up higher. So Maybe look for like a 2R type trade. In fact, what I'll do is for today, I'm gonna set an alert just in case, and then we can watch it. I'll set it above the opening price of yesterday, just to be alerted, and then we can kind of figure out if we want to take the trade or not. The alert went through. Okay, good. If you want to try to play it with a little bit better risk to reward, well, you do have my stop would still be down here somewhere around 61.97, below the wick, below the 200. Um, you are opening. Even if I was taking a day trade on this one, again, if I want to get a little more aggressive on my entry, maybe something off of like the 62.98, and then I think I'd be comfortable with like a 62.65. Essentially, I want to be filled very close to open. My first real resistance, 63.14 on this one. So, like, I got to get past that. But if I'm like, hey, you know what? This is a good spot, longer term, good bouncing. We really shouldn't break down this candle at this point. We do have decent levels of VPOX to kind of hold us up. And then now we're in a little bit of ahead of time. And by the time we even get up to this high resistance at 63.61, we're probably already at R and a half, something like that. But that would be a little bit more aggressive setup on it if you were looking for a day trade. Otherwise, yeah, get above that candle. That looks like a fantastic swing though. All right, let's see. We got pins. I'm a little bit behind on the YouTube chat, so I'm gonna try to get through as many as we can. Pins looks interesting. Actually, this one's got to go pretty high on my list as well. We'll see where this one wants to open. I've got not a lot of resistance above us. It's not like one of those big major gaps to all-time highs. We're not even close to all-time highs, so that's good. Yep, pins got to go on my list. Nice bullish gap, good volume, pulled back a little bit. Really interesting close, at least with VPOC higher than all the rest, and we are above that when it opens. So pins I like. I'd probably go bullish. Again, not a whole heck of a lot of resistance above us. Mara. Yeah, watch Coinbase, watch Mara, watch Riot. I think Coinbase did start to move a little bit yesterday, last night. Either last night or pre-market today. But Mara still looks good. Interesting open spot. Again, bullish gap and go. This is kind of your breakout candle above this one, which had some volume. Not crazy volume, this big red candle. But we got the close above that 2 days ago. A little bit of a rest candle. We are bullish at the open on a bullish gap and go. Still inside day. I think we have to watch out for $20.67, but we might be able to break that. We've already retested that one time here. And this is now our second approach. We almost got there yesterday too. Not quite, but almost. So we might be able to break through this $20.67. And then the next target for me would be 21.57, which we can make a nice trade off of. With like a little consolidation at open. I'll take the high wave on that one. I think the pins I like better for the high wave, but Mars not bad. Even in an uptrend, yeah, the uptrend I think would take me right there too. And again, decent short float. Let's take a look at Coinbase real quick as well. Coinbase was just absolutely getting clobbered yesterday. No mercy. Coinbase, not bad. First spot of resistance we got to watch for is right above us. That's about 205.30. Bitcoin is going. Next target, if we get through that first one, will be 211.34, and then maybe back to 214.50, probably the high of today. If we have a crazy, crazy bullish day. Otherwise, I think getting into this like 211.08 would probably be where I cap out. Let's get Coinbase a little bit higher as well. Zim and Ship. Yeah, Zim probably will go higher. based on the chart, looks like we're almost in some kind of wave 3. Without the retest, though, it probably will have to go higher than me. If you want to set some kind of trade up on it, again, I would be looking for. I'm worried about. I mean, that's a big move and a lot of candles in the green color. But you are opening above all other previous VPOCs. We got rejected around 1979, 1975. So watch that for resistance today. But if we're getting up there, it means we took out this little resting candle and we probably can go higher. So if you're in it bullish, I'd have my stops raised to like 1756. You want to come in with a trade, maybe you could play that hammer with the hopes that this little top wick can break out. Otherwise, still looks like we got decent bullish momentum. Ship. Same thing. Looks like it's still got room in a bullish direction. Let's get Zim up there. Yep. But I think I missed this trade for me personally. Again, if you're in it, I'm not really freaking out. Probably stops at minimum will be 983, and you could probably even get it up higher to like 1054. Google with a massive candle, GOOGL. Is this pre-market? Yeah, nice little pop it open. I would like to see a pullback at this point down to like, I don't know, 174.17. If you're going to try it bullish. You got a little bit of consolidation in there. Good support somewhere around this 173.69. The next spot to get held up at 174.54, and then probably 174.85 would be the big one. Anything past that probably continues up. We did see all-time highs again on Google, so yesterday. GME is a down trap. Yep. Yeah, on a technical basis, GME, I would probably be looking for a fade higher, but then it's like, well, it's still GME. So I don't know. We got Walmart. And also, I mean, that is some horrifically bearish news out of GME too. Like that, I don't think most people trading GME really understand. Good little hammer on this one. It's up a lot from yesterday. See if this one first support on Walmart 64.01. See if that holds, and then we'll see if we continue that momentum. But this is up a lot from earnings the other day. Everybody out of YouTube land, I appreciate you joining us each and every day. Unfortunately, we got the weekend. I don't know why people love the weekend so much. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. Just give me that Monday already so I could trade again. But I appreciate you joining us each and every day. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch